All right, if you feel like you need to be perfect all of the frickin' time in order to see any results in your fitness, I'm about to give you the biggest sigh of relief because it's just not true. A lot of my clients, myself included in the past, have struggled with this idea of extremely high standards, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but having those standards, falling short, feeling like a failure, falling off track, and feeling like we're spinning our wheels over and over and over again and not seeing the results that we want. And wondering, like, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our plan? Why am I not seeing the results that I want? Here is one of the biggest hacks that is going to help you. So it's called floor versus ceiling, okay? This is basically one larger concept with two different endpoints, okay? So we have the floor and then we have the ceiling. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help to kind of visualize this and illustrate it for you. So we have the floor, we have the ceiling. Now, let's see if we can do this right. So that's probably a little bit too thick. Shrink this guy down a bit. So floor plan, this is what I call the floor plan anyway. Okay. Floor plan is basically worst day ever. So this is what happens when shit hits the fan. Now, shit will hit the fan. Life happens. Life will punch you in the face, okay? So it's important to have a plan for that. Now, whoa, my goodness. Oh, whoops. Here we go. So, ceiling plan. This is the other end. Okay, this is best day ever. We've all had those as well. The problem is, most people, they want every day to go like this. They want every day to be ceiling plan. Our expectations, we all get caught up in this, myself included. We expect for everything to go right all of the time, but they don't. We have a lot of worst day evers, right? This happens quite a bit. Life will punch you in the face. So the problem that people have is we know life's going to punch you in the face. It's inevitable. And then they have no plan. And that's when things go really bad. So let me draw this for you. Okay, so ceiling, floor. Okay, we want, us as humans, we want everything to be up here all the time. Everything's perfect, best day ever, nothing goes wrong, right? Unfortunately, life happens. So how does it actually look in reality? Looks like this. Sometimes it even stays down there and life's shitty for a little while. And sometimes it's pretty good for a while, right? But that's kind of what it looks like. So this is where we want it to be. We are rocking out here. Life is easy. Everything's smooth. Everything's groovy. Nothing's too hard. Down here, it's so over. We're going to die. Life sucks. Why do I even do this? What's the point? I don't make any progress. This always happens to me. All the negative self-talk, that's where all that gets triggered, right? The problem is, with this is, this is kind of, I just charted out, that's how life kind of works. The problem with most people, right, is they have expectations to be up here. So then life happens. Great, they're chilling. Things are awesome. Then life punches them in the face. The problem is they don't have any safety net to catch them. And they go, whoop, they go right through, and they fall completely off track. And then they have to restart that all over again, and they have to get back into this channel and then do that all over again. But inevitably, same thing happens. Life punches them in the face. They don't have a safety net. Boom, they go right through, right? So I'm going to show you a better way visually of kind of how this kind of plays out. So from a fitness perspective, okay, how we would kind of do this. Ceiling plan would be like, I'll give you an example for me, right? So ceiling plan would be like, let me zoom out here actually. So ceiling plan for me would be like 12K steps. It would be 4 to 5 workouts a week. And it would be hit macros perfectly. Now, the way that I do coaching, I follow something called a MacroIntuitive Protocol with my clients and myself, where we have 2 untracked meals per week. So it'd be hit macros perfect plus or minus, I guess, the 2 untracked meals a week. Now, floor plan could be anything that is below that, basically. So it's when life punches you in the face and you're like, oh my goodness, there's a bunch of shit outside of my control. What do I do? So maybe for me, it's Well, I can hit 10K steps per day. Or maybe it is still 12. Maybe it's still 12, right? Workouts. Maybe it's 3 workouts. Maybe it's 4 to 5, but shorter. Okay? Macros. Maybe it's hit macros Monday to Friday, right? So then weekends are untracked and intuitive. So this is kind of an example of that, right? Just an idea of how that could look. And the idea there is, let me zoom back up on this, is that so when we get into a scenario, which is inevitable, oh my goodness, here we go. Life will punch you in the face. So to assume that it won't is a fool's errand, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So why don't we just plan ahead for that battle that we know is going to come? We don't know when it's going to come, but it is going to come, and it's going to come many times over while we're here alive on Earth, going through this journey of life. So how I like to kind of show this, right? I already kind of showed you what happens. This happens, and people go right through, and they have nothing to catch them down here. So we want to create something that catches them down there. That's what the floor plan essentially is. If you have a floor plan, you have a foundation down here. What's really, really cool is if we do this correctly, not perfectly, but if we do it correctly and consistently, what happens is, you know, you're chilling up here, life's awesome, and then, oh my goodness, we all know what that looks like, right? Stuff starts to happen. We get sick, we go on a vacation that didn't go our way, or we just feel off track, mental health episode, death in the family, marriage issues, whatever. You know what I mean? Work stuff, weather, you know, a lot of people here in Canada during the winter just feeling blah, you know? It can be a perfect storm. And then what we want to see happen is if we have a floor plan correctly kind of set up here, okay? Then what happens is life punches you in the face, you fall down to your floor plan, and you bounce back up. Okay, so this shields you from from actually falling off track. So you come down here, you bounce back up, and then you kind of hover here while you kind of find your bearings. It's not pretty, it's not sexy, it's not exciting, but you stay in this channel. Okay, and that's the goal until you kind of get out of the shit, and then you're back up here. Awesome, life's great again. We're so back. You know, everybody knows what that's like too. Everything's groovy, everything's smooth, and then inevitably life punches you in the face. Now, if we go back to that floor plan, we can, boom, we have a safety net, bounce off that, hang out here, keeps us in a safe space, in a safe spot, until we get back into best day ever vibes. Okay, so the goal here is basically that no matter what happens, we are bouncing back and forth between these lines, but we never actually fall off track. Down here, we feel like we are, but we're not. We're still good. We're not perfect, but we don't need to be. We just need to ride, okay? We just need to ride in between this channel. That's really all that matters. As long as we're in here, we will succeed. 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, 18 months down the road, 2 years down the road. That is, the people that win are the ones that can stay in here. And people who are good at staying in this channel are people that have a floor plan set up. Most people don't. They're really good at handling life when life goes well, but they don't have a plan for when life goes shitty, right? So hopefully that helps to kind of illustrate what this actually looks like. Basically, to set up your own floor plan, it truly is like anything that's just less than your ceiling plan. And it can change on a whim, on an audible, right? Like last minute, depending on what's going on and what you're kind of going through. But the point is that you need to accept that. And you need to let yourself embrace and accept that and be like, hey, I'm not going to be perfect here, and it might be a bad day. But I'm going to just revert to like a floor plan here. I'm going to make it up in my head. What is actually doable today? That's basically the question you want to ask yourself. What can I do today? What am I committing to? Okay, because I have all of the things that I think I need to do on a perfect day. Today's not perfect. Can I do everything here? What does that look like? How many steps? How much water? How much work? How many workouts? What am I doing for food? What am I doing for stress and time management? What am I doing for supplements? What is the plan there? And we need to accept that it's going to be less than a perfect day plan, a ceiling plan. Because, like I said, whatever that ends up being, this is going to happen over and over again. And it's kind of cool because what happens is, you know, I'll just kind of illustrate again. You come down here. The more you kind of go through this, and this is kind of what it would look like, you'll bounce down and hit the bottom here, you know, a ton of times. And you're going to do this over years. Like, I'm at the point where I've done this so many times that this shit down here is calloused. Like, this is thick now. Every time I hit, I'm callousing the foundation. I'm layering on another layer of foundation until this is just so dense that anytime I'm riding high and then life punches me in the face, I'm not going through. Like, I just won't. It's not going to happen because this is so calloused and so built up, and my foundation is so strong from reverting into kind of just a imperfect floor plan every time. And they're always kind of different, but as I do them more and more, I get a better idea of like, okay, what can I do today? What's actually realistic to keep me on track here? And it doesn't need to be sexy, doesn't need to be exciting. It just needs to keep me consistent, because the goal is that long term, right? Long term, if we actually like map this out, it's like, okay, month 1 on your journey, month 3, 6, and then 12, 24, 36. Right? So as this goes by, like, you need to get from point A to point B, and most people are really bad at that. And that's actually like one of the biggest secret sauces, right? You hear this a million times. You got to be consistent. It's like, it's true, but like most people don't know what that is. Like, what is consistency? What does that mean? This is it. This is there are a lot of different strategies, tactics that you can utilize, but this is a big one. You can't just have a ceiling plan. Because most people are like, I have my plan. Cool, that's your ceiling plan. Whatever your fitness plan is, your diet, your nutrition, your training, your supplements, your sleep, your everything, whatever it all is, that's your ceiling plan, right? You don't need that to be perfect. You just need to stay within this channel consistently and long enough to see the results that you need. But that is your ceiling plan. You need to have a floor plan, okay? And then inevitably you end up here bouncing back and forth between the channel, and it ends up being 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. And you never actually fully fell off track because you just kept bouncing back and forth between ceiling and floor. So hopefully this makes sense to you. If you have any questions on your own plan, if you're like, okay, Tim, I have, I got my ceiling plan, which is whatever your plan is, everything that you're currently doing. But I don't have a safety net. I don't have a floor plan. I don't know what that is for me. And like I said, this changes all the time. This is just an idea. It doesn't have to be like I have one floor plan. It's like this is completely amendable. You can make the rules of the game. And this can change depending on what threats you're under, what type of stress you're going through at that time. But if you have questions on how to actually construct an intelligent floor plan for you based off what your ceiling plan is and based on what type of stressors you may go through or you were nervous about happening. Again, if you've gone through something before and maybe you didn't manage it well, let me know. Leave a comment below, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at I am Tim Walcott. I'm happy to help you. No strings attached, no obligation for coaching, any of that stuff. Literally just I'll help you out. I'll set this up for you. We'll have a chit chat and I'll hear, first of all, from you what your ceiling plan is. And then I'll be like, okay, based on what you typically, what your challenges are, whether it's work, interpersonal stuff, whatever your challenges are with your ceiling plan when you fall off track, we'll figure out what that is and then be like, okay, here's what I think you should do for a floor plan next time this happens. And then you can go in confident instead of being like, oh my goodness, I have no plan. Now you have a plan. And then before you know it, you wake up 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you're like, holy shit, okay, I wasn't perfect. I didn't hit my ceiling plan the whole time. But I bounced off my floor plan a lot over that time period, and turns out that's all I needed because I look and feel freaking awesome. So I'm really glad I stayed consistent. So hopefully that made a ton of sense. Leave me a comment below. Make sure to subscribe. And like I said, reach out to me if I can be of any help.